Architectural Builders Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Get for some exterior doors that I'm building?
Yes.
Okay. I'm building, these doors are 9 feet high. They could, I'm not quite sure yet, I'm waiting for the lumber to come in. They could be as much as 2 inches thick and 3 feet wide. They're made out of cedar, and I'm estimating the weight of each door to be about 60 to 70 pounds. But it gets trickier because these are carriage doors, and for each opening there'll be 3 doors. 2 of the doors will be bifolding. In other words, 2 of the doors will be attached to each other, and they'll one will bifold against the other, so that the weight on the hinges that will be screwed into the jamb will be 60 to 70 pounds times 2. So if you're following me so far, I'm just not sure what size hinges I'll need for this project.
Well, how wide is each panel?
Each panel is 3 feet wide, so the bifolding units will be 6 feet, and they are 9 feet high.
Yeah. So the good news is that the doors are very light.
Yes.
So there's not a lot to it.
Yeah.
And you'll have to, so you're going to need, depending on how you're going to stack those 2 doors together, you might need hinges of different widths. But the most important thing first is the height. I would personally consider using a 6-inch tall hinge that would probably be 4.5-inch wide for the jambs. But the issue is that you won't need such a wide hinge on the 2 panels when they're hinged together. Let's see, maybe
Right.
6 is overkill. Let's take
Yeah,
a look.
yeah, I thought as much. It's really, my main concern really is on the jamb side.
Well, right, and that's why you want a taller hinge, because that taller hinge is going to substantially be able to carry that load more gracefully.
Great. Well, that's good advice. And you have such a hinge? I'm on your website as we speak.
Yeah, sure. I sell the hinge we're talking about.
Great.
FBB 199 maybe. So what's going to happen with the 2 leaves that are hinged together? How are you going to fold that when the one leaf gets folded? What are you going to do then?
Well, I just wanted to use some standard hinges, probably 4.5 by 4.5 is what entered my mind, and probably 5 of them. As you noted a second ago, that these hinges really are carrying the weight of that one door. Well, maybe I'm wrong in thinking of it. Maybe I'm thinking of it incorrectly. But at any rate, a standard hinge for those doors. I've gone through lots of configurations. There are lots of problems with this project, criteria that I have to meet. Originally, I thought I was going to put these on tracks, but that didn't work. So
my question is, when you take that door and you fold it against the door that's hinged to the jamb, what are you going to do at that point? You're going to fold it to 90? Is there any obstacles? Is there
no obstacles? Yeah, 90 degrees.
Okay. So because while the doors aren't very heavy, you have an obscene width. And if it was me, I would be using 6-inch tall, 6 by 4.5 on the jambs is what I would use. And then for the sake of it all looking like it belongs together, I would use that everywhere. You could certainly get away with 4.5 by 4.5 on that on those 2 panels that are hinged together, because that's not a ton of weight at all. but I think it's just going to look odd. Well, you know what though? It really won't, because it'll be on the opposite side of the door now, won't it? So you could get away with that.
Yeah, and I'm looking at two openings. This is a big garage with two openings, so there'll be 6 doors altogether. Whatever I do on one side will be mirrored on the other. I'm not too worried about it looking odd. I'm also concerned with the cost. I'm not sure how much a stainless steel hinge like that might cost, but
it's going to be a fortune.
Yeah. And if I were to type in your search here, 6-inch by 4.5-inch, I'd find a selection or just one?
Lots of people make these hinges, and if you want them made of stainless, it's going to end up being, probably 4 Bayer aspirins worth of pain.
Yeah.
So
I might.
So the first thing is, I think it's just to be completely transparent. How much do you want to spend on hinges?
Well, I was hoping to keep it around $500 or $600 for.
Okay, so you're going to have to have so you've got 12. You're going to need 8. Oh gosh, you need 30 hinges.
I do.
Okay, so yeah, that
might not be doable.
That's you could do 5 by 4.5. So you could do an import 5 by 4.5 for about $30 a hinge in stainless, I think. Yeah, you could do 5 by 4.5 stainless base material for about $32 a hinge. You could do that. But if you were to go to a steel base hinge, you would cut that cost in about half. So about $16 a hinge.
Yeah. Well, I'm located on the coast in Maine, so certainly, deterioration of any materials here is rapid.
I live a mile from the ocean.
What state are you in?
Florida.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I don't know what it's like in Florida, but I don't know if it's similar. We also have rugged winters, but I've used brass hinges in the past. I am a builder up in Maine, and I've used cheaper quality stainless steel, which I won't do anymore. The brass hinges I've used on homes they've held up pretty well, but
why don't you consider using pivots on those outside doors, and then just 4.5s, between the two. Plus 5 is too many. You need 4. The textbook tells us 4 for your 9/0 height.
Okay.
So you don't. Yeah,
And that's 4 for the 6-inch tall hinges you're talking about, or for the 5 by 4.5?
No, neither. It's 4 for the 9/0 height.
Oh,
the 6
it.
versus 5 versus 4.5 height versus 8-inch is more of a compensation for the weight, the thickness, the volume, and the width.
Okay.
So you could probably use offset pivots because your doors aren't super heavy, but you're still going to be a couple $100 a pop on those.
I'm looking at hinges and pivots on your website. I just clicked on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Yeah, and I'm not sure. I'm waiting for the lumber to come in. I don't know how much I'm going to have to plane it down. Right now, I've ordered 2-inch thick lumber, but I don't know what.
1/8.
Yeah, I don't know what shape it's going to be in when I get it.
Yeah, well, you run it through the planer. You might have to keep going.
That's right.
I've built stile and rail doors. I'm somewhat familiar with the process.
Yeah. So whatever I do, I'm going to hesitate. I'm not buying hinges right away, but I'm trying to figure out what to do. And the lumber's due in a couple of weeks. Well, I'm going to look at the pivots. I don't know. Maybe I can. I've never used them before. I don't know what they're like to use.
Well, why not use sauce hinges? Why not use a concealed, like a 218 would be great.
I'm not even sure what that is.
Yeah, so you've seen them. If you're a builder, you've seen these. Whether you've used them or not doesn't count, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you were to type in SOSS in the search top center, SOSS,
Sauce.
and then
I see.
yeah, and then
Oh,
hit
yes.
enter.
Yes. Yeah, I see.
So they make some bigger ones, and the nice thing about that is it's concealed. It'll carry the weight. It'll fold the way you want it to fold.
Okay. So I should wait, WAIT, to see how much these doors weigh before I consider one of these sauce hinges, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, cedar's not very heavy. I know that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I personally believe that your estimation is a bit
Shy.
is shy. I think it's shy.
Yeah. Well, it might be. This guy's milling it up for me, and I'm going to have to dry it. So I'll get it down to a low percentage of moisture, but and I've just used charts to estimate how much they might weigh. So, but I should say I shouldn't keep you on the phone forever like this. I'm going to look at the those sauce. Though that's intriguing. I didn't know they made them large enough for doors like this.
Oh yeah, sauce can swing 1,000-pound door easily. So a hinge that I would like to use for this, there's doing it within budget, and then there's what you and I would like to use, and you and I would like to use what the textbook tells us should probably be used, and then also, it looking handsome when it's done and lasting for decades. So I would be looking to use either a Stanley or a Bomber hinge, heavyweight, which would be 190 thousandths for sure, 5-inch tall or 6-inch tall, 4.5-inch wide, base material, as your budget allows, steel, stainless, or brass, bronze. Pivots, I don't love the idea because that's a lot of 6 foot hanging off that top pivot.
Yes.
While the weight is a walk in the park for a pivot, that gravity and that lateral load is, not really. No catalog will tell you that pivot is meant for a 6 foot wide panel at all. So then sauce or some sort of concealed hinge. There are other people who have variations on this concept, but sauce is extremely robust, in my opinion, very easy to install once someone tells you how to do it or walks you through it or you study it, and then you ask a couple questions and then you're good. And they're relatively inexpensive.
And when I'm looking at the sauce, I'm not on your webpage. It goes up to 50 pages. I'm not sure if that's 50 pages of sauce hinges. If I just put in heavyweight sauce, I would get to the page I need.
So all it's doing is it's limiting to 50 how many search results. So what you would do, click on any of the links that open there, and on the right-hand side, you're going to see a map of the United States. To the left of that, click More from Sauce, and then from the manufacturer's page, you can fire up their product catalog, and then there'll be some good data in there. You're going to look at a 218 would be the model number, maybe a 220, depending on the thickness. And you might just say, wow, I don't have a need for these right now, but I'm glad to know these are here.
Yeah, well, I will look at them. And you're in Florida, so we're in the same time zone. It's Friday, 4:08. Are you open on Saturdays or?
Yes. Yes. I'll be here till I'm 90.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let me look at this. You've given me a lot to think about, and if I am intrigued, well, I'm going to look at the 6-inch by 4.5. I would imagine I'll find them on your website.
Lots of people make those. So the link at the bottom of the page you're on, right of center, is manufacturers. Then from there you can go to Hager, Stanley, McKinney, Bomber, Ives. All kinds of people make full mortise hinges. And when you get to the manufacturer's page, they're all going to have a link to a product catalog where you can then dive in and look at a full mortise hinge. That's
sure. Yep.
you know, that kind of thing.
And pricing, I'm sure I will not get through their website. I would have to.
No, but the general mile posts that we've touched on will certainly act as a guiding light. You can say, here's how much I can spend on hinges. This is what the budget is, and this is what you can stuff in there for that.
I can stuff that into these websites, manufacturers' websites?
No, I think you can call me and say,
Okay, yes.
point me specifically in the direction. You've got to figure out how you're going to hang the door, then how much money you want to spend on it, and that's going to tell you what your options are.
Yes.
But
absolutely.
you can do 5x4.5 stainless for about $30, $32 a hinge, and then steel base for about half of that.
Yeah.
Everything will rust. Even type 304 stainless will rust. I mean, it will. Sooner or later, it will.
Yep. Paintable hinges, I don't know how well. I've never done that. I know that I see hinges painted. I don't know if it would offer superior weather resistant.
Yeah, I think if you're going to get a oil-based Rust-Oleum on there, and I think you would do very well with that. Order a prime coat hinge, Rust-Oleum oil base. I think, and take your time with it, meaning do it like you care, not some painter who's slapping it on.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'd be in good shape with that. I think that's realistic. Who's going to spend $1,500 on hinges for these doors?
Yeah, and what we discussed, a painted hinge would be obviously less than the $32 price tag. I don't know if it would be more than half. It would obviously be a steel-based hinge, but it wouldn't be substantially less than something that has a plating on it. If you're going to do steel, you'll do prime coat and paint them, in my opinion. If you want something that you're not going to treat, then you'll do stainless. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to start looking around, and I guess I'll get back to you at some point for pricing. This is obviously a project I'll be finishing this summer. So.
Yeah, and speaking of timing, it could very likely be that what you hit on is on hand. It could also very likely be that what you hit on is a month out.
Yeah.
So just plan accordingly.
That's true with everything these days.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for assisting me. I appreciate it. I feel like I'm a little better off as far as knowing what I need at this point.
Yeah, keep me in tune. I'd like to see what you're building. I've made a custom door myself once or twice, and it's an enjoyable activity.
Yeah, I've made a ton of them. None this big, and none hung like this, but we'll see.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you.
And to you, sir.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.